I want you to imagine right now about how your life would be if you could instantly connect with anyone. How often do you feel like you want to approach someone that you'd like to get to know, but you feel hesitant or shy and you don't follow through? And then beat yourself up for another missed opportunity. What about being your authentic and natural self with anyone? So you could create deeper intimacy and connection in your relationships. How would it transform your personal relationships, your professional partnerships, and more? What if you could feel safe to be yourself wherever you are and let go of judging others or worrying about what others are thinking of you? I believe that this is possible for anyone. And why I know this to be true is because you, the real you, is already authentic. It's your natural state, but it becomes masked by mental and emotional conditioning, a false identity created through years of emotionally traumatic experiences, past rejections and hurts, which causes us to repress our authenticity so that we can simply be accepted and approved of. This is truly no way to live. In this video, I'm going to share with you a conversation that I had with my client and friend Karim, who broke through this wall of feeling disconnected from others and unlocked his natural ability to form intimate connections with anyone that he chooses to. I want you to pay attention because Karim shares the one thing that he says enabled him to actually create this transformation.
Yeah, it's going very well. Now, like today, I was realizing that I was actually always seeking pleasure, and now it's very funny. I'm walking in the street now, and I'm doing the opposite to what my mind wants to do. So if I'm scared to approach the girl, I'm like, oh, I don't listen, and I go anyway. If I'm scared to talk to a guy in a coffee shop who's working, I just go anyway. And it's most of the time it's very it's nothing to be scared of. It's most of the time like a very nice conversation anyway. It's
Yeah,
very cool. And
yeah,
then I also can just observe my conditioning arise in a moment, and I can use that experience to let go of it.
that's
And
awesome.
my mind realizes that, oh yeah, I can actually do anything I want. I don't have to be scared.
Yeah, it's all a story, hey?
Yeah. hmm
How did you discover my work, my
hmm
program, and what led you to join the program?
So I first joined a program with Dave, and I think I joined Dave because I wanted to be more disciplined. But then I found you in a call in his program. He had a call with you, and then I just saw it, like letting go and the tapping and stuff, and I just knew intuitively immediately, yeah, I want to work with you. I just knew it. I just have to. Oh, I want to go. I had just no doubt in my mind that I wanted to do it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I have no regret at all. It's been amazing.
When you felt that feeling, that intuition,
Yeah.
right?
hmm
What did you have in your mind that you really wanted to work on?
So I always had the feeling that I had so much potential inside, and I felt that I was just living in a prison. That I was just like, I wanted to do so much. I wanted to be free, but I felt like I didn't have the mindfulness, or I didn't have the tools to do it yet. But yeah, the main reason why I joined is just because I think I just want to follow my highest excitement and my passion. I want to be in connection with my higher mind, let's say more like
Yeah.
with the divine will, like this trust and the safety that you're. Yeah, I think that yeah, that's the main reason for sure. And I feel like now I really start to. I feel now it's all just starting. I really feel that now it's starting that I'm just doing what I want to do and not being run by my traumas or emotional blockages,
hmm
that I'm just directed by my traumas. Now I start to really, yeah, do what I want to do. And
hmm
it gives me such a confidence boost as well in myself. And I really start to have for the first time in my life, really respect myself as well and love myself.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What
Hmm.
was it when you think back to that first call when I did in Dave's program? That was quite a while too. We went long on that
Yeah.
call. I think it was over like a 4 hour call. What was
Hmm.
it about that call that we did that spoke to you? Do you remember? Like, I know you said you had an
Hmm.
intuition. What was it
Yeah.
that clicked?
Hmm. Good question. I don't know exactly, but it's just this excitement in myself that I just see you. And oh yeah, I also remembered that I saw you speaking. I was like, oh, he just seems so at ease. So I was also very attracted to your energy, that you were
Mm,
just so at ease. And
yeah,
also that you're so, because you did a 4 hour call just to help people as well, and you really wanted to help them, and you
yeah.
were really patient with them as well. I can remember that, really like patient and really like listening to them. And yeah, I think I was just drawn to that, to be in that energy as well, to be
Yeah.
listened to, and someone who wants to help me. Yeah.
Okay. So it was like an overall resonance, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when we first started working together, you shared with me that one of the main challenges for you was connection, creating connection with others,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so we
Hmm.
looked at avoidance of connection, how you were feeling like you wanted to avoid others or just feeling kind of
Hmm.
like that misalignment with connecting with other
Hmm.
people. Can
Hmm.
you expand on what it was like for you to experience this avoidance or this disconnection in terms of
Hmm.
relationships, connecting with other people, and maybe even
Hmm.
connecting with yourself as well?
Hmm. Yeah, I mentioned it before. It felt I was run by my traumas, and therefore it felt like I was just putting on a mask and I was being fake. And therefore I couldn't really connect with people. I was just always people pleasing, and I was just not being real. And you just could people could sense it, and me as well. There's like a lot of the time this awkward energy, and there's no connection.
Mm,
Yeah, that's how it's really felt, and it's yeah. And now it's just shifted a lot. It still arises sometimes. It still arises. I can see it, but it's the more I just do whatever I want to do, and I follow my excitement, let's say, and I do what I want to do, then that intimacy just naturally arises. I don't have to try for it. It just is there with just being myself. I don't have to do anything. It
mhm.
just comes naturally.
I think that's one of the biggest insights is that when we realize what we're searching for, whatever that may be, is actually
Hmm.
already within us.
Yeah.
It's not
Hmm.
something we have to go and get that's outside of us.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's an uncovering of what is already within. Like you already
Yeah.
have intimacy, as you said, that
Yeah.
ability to really deeply connect with other people as
Hmm.
it's encoded within you.
Yep. And the only thing I have to do is just, yeah, just be me, follow my excitement. But yeah, it's easy to say, but in practice, it's sometimes harder to do when you're so in your head. And but yeah, when you're just being yourself and you're courageous to just do what you want to do, then you don't have to do anything. There's just intimacy as a result. It
Yeah.
just goes naturally,
Yeah.
and you just meet the people you need to meet. It's so cool.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this interview that could resonate with the types of
Mhm.
challenges that you've described, feeling like a
Yeah.
disconnection from self and other people. Can you share some of the most common ways that you experienced that kind of conditioning? Like,
Mhm.
for example, in triggered states, when would that conditioning arise? When would it show up? And what types of situations would it commonly show up? And how would you
Mhm.
feel about it? And how did it maybe influence your behavior in those moments?
Mhm. Good question. How would I describe it? Hmm. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah.
I'm just searching for it, but it's hard. Uh,
That's it,
hmm.
Kareem, is that when we make the shift away from that old identity and we do the work
Yeah.
of releasing the conditioning that created those patterns
Hmm.
of behavior,
Yeah.
we have to kind of take a moment to reconnect with what it was like.
Yeah. It's just like you said, it's like a pattern, and it feels like you're just in a cycle over and over and again, and you can't get out of the cycle. But you have to break the cycle to get out of it. So you have to be first. That's what I saw in myself. You just have to be courageous and to break out of the cycle. Because if you just do the same actions over and over again, you're just gonna be in the same reality over and over and again. And I had it as well, and it's really not fun because you literally feel like you're stuck. You're just creating the same reality with your traumas, and you release over and over again. So you just have to take a step and be courageous to boom to break the cycle and to go into a new reality.
That's very well put. You basically just
Hmm.
need that willingness, hey?
Yeah, hmm yeah,
Courage,
yeah.
willingness.
If you don't want to change, you cannot change. You won't change.
Yeah, the power is in you.
Indeed, you just have to take the step. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that it's so true. It's pretty easy because you just have to take the step. It's that
yeah,
the average person doesn't feel the courage, decide they have the
indeed.
courage to take that step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm And what for me actually really worked is the mindsets I have now. In the beginning, I had the mindset, oh, it needs to be easy, but it's not really the good mindset to have. It's gonna be a little bit challenging and hard, but that makes it so good as well, that it is challenging. Otherwise, it's not really worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Because now it's challenging and you do it and you create a whole new reality, and that gives you just so much confidence that you take the step and that you have the courage to do it.
And that really builds that inner character and sense of
Yeah,
being resilient.
yeah, and that really also that self-love, and that you just be at ease with yourself, and that you know deep down that you're actually doing the right thing.
Yeah, very clear, man. Very well said.
Yeah. hmm
Talk to us about what you do. You're in a really interesting line of work.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm So I play I play poker, so I make money with playing poker, mainly online poker, and I do it for 6 years, and I've been pretty good at it. I make good money with it. But now the last 1 or 2 years, I'm just playing around with intentions because yeah, first the goal is to make money. But when you have that goal, oh yeah, I can make money. It's easy. Then you want a deeper experience. So yeah, you, I'm just seeking for a deeper experience when playing poker as well. Just so playing around with intentions. For example, not moving when I play poker, just to observe my thoughts. Just always seeking for, yeah, that deeper experience. And that makes it very fun as well because I become a different person. It feels like I'm doing a different activity as well. But you see, but I'm exactly doing the same thing, but because I have changed, it feels like I'm doing something else, and it's a little bit more complex and a little bit deeper,
So it sounds like you've
and that
formed a
makes it
new,
fun.
okay, so you've created like a new relationship with playing poker.
Yeah, yeah,
You
indeed. Yeah,
experience it
because I've
differently.
realized in the beginning the goal was to make money, but yeah, what you have to once you accomplish that goal, you search for something else, right? For
Yeah.
something deeper.
Do you feel like it's increased or changed your ability
Mm,
um to let's say read the other people or understand
mm,
energy at the table differently?
hmm Um, I think the main thing I've got from it is that I practice my outcome independence with poker a lot. And that makes it very good to take action because when I'm outcome dependent when playing poker, I'm going to suffer. because in poker you can lose for months and then suddenly you can win. So you have to be outcome independent because the results can be much later. And I think that can help as well in when doing approaches or whatever area in life that you aren't outcome dependent, that you put in the energy and that you just trust the process and that the results will come anyway to you.
Talk to us about the experience that you had near the very, very beginning of our program together. So
Oh, yeah.
I think it was maybe the first, I think it was the first session that we did, hey? First or second session, where we released trapped emotions around the heart, right? That's where we started.
Yep.
Share the story that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't fully told the story. It's something that pops in my mind as well that I didn't tell you. But I remember the first time after session, I immediately felt so free and at ease. There was like tension gone from my body. And I remember that I was just dancing around the room, dancing in the shower, just singing. I felt so free. It was so cool. And at the moment, I was also taking ice baths. So I went then to the next day to the Donau. It's a river in Vienna. And yeah, I was just sitting a couple of minutes in the water. And then when I went out of the water, there were just like geese coming to me or geese coming to me. And I felt so connected with them. I could almost it felt like I could almost touch them and they wanted to touch me. And I remember that I was very scared of animals as well. So that made the experience even more weird for me. And they were just also like I think there were two and they were like singing in front of me, like very, very almost in my face. And I remember that I felt just joy and I had tears in my eyes as well because it was such a cool moment of intimacy.
You know, this is a great example of when you shift your energy.
Yeah.
You start to project a new energy into the field through your personal field. And we don't know exactly how it's going to make what kind of shift it's going to show up as. You probably weren't expecting to have an intimate experience with a bunch of geese.
Yeah.
Right? But that was so cool, man. When, you know, I was not expecting to hear that either. And then when you text me and you're like, hey, this is what happened, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be humans. It could be any form of life. All forms of life, because we're all connected through the field, the same field. Everything is responding to your energy. Okay?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's just a mirror. It's just a reflection.
What other experiences have you had? Any other kind of cool experiences like that, or you know, but things like that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I had one time I remember that as well. I was sitting almost alone in the subway, and there was a guy. I think he was 23 years old, and he asked me if he wanted to sit next to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And he started talking about himself. He was addicted to gambling and he was drunk, alcohol, but he was so open and raw with me. Because in the past I would always like judge like alcohol people who drink alcohol, but in that moment he was drunk, but it felt like we were just communicating with our being. I could just sense his beingness, and it was such a cool moment because he was so raw to me. He just said, "Yeah, I'm addicted to gambling, and I don't feel good." But he was so like honest, and it felt like he was just drawn to me. He wanted to share that with me, and it was so cool because it was a cool experience for me. I really had a lot of enjoyment from it because he did that, and it was also probably a very cool experience for him because he just could share his story with someone who just listened. So that was so cool.
Wow. So yeah. So people are drawn. It sounds like they feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And so in that safety, they can open up, they can express. And that really is such a perfect expression of intimacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Energy exchange through safety. Connection.
Yep.
In summary here, that was one of the main things that you were wanting to focus on was I want to feel
Yeah.
connection. I don't feel connection with others.
Hmm.
Can you share more examples of how you
Mm.
feel more open in terms of intimacy or connection?
Hmm. Yeah, it's just that I'm just willing to talk to people now. I'm just willing to do that. I'm just allowing myself to do it. In the past, I wouldn't allow myself to do it. Like for example, today, I I I just I just there is still that voice in my head that's like talking a little bit. Oh yeah, oh don't do it. So the excuses, but I'm just like, oh yeah, don't listen. I just allow myself to do it. And I know if I do it, if I follow my highest excitement, I just do it, I feel so good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so rewarding. And
I
it's
think
also
that
so fun.
I think that's a great way of saying it. It's a great point that you make about you'll still notice that voice there occasionally, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But the difference is that the voice doesn't hold you back. You're
Hmm.
able to use your free will
Yeah.
despite the voice and make a
Hmm.
conscious choice and decision in that
Yep.
moment when you would otherwise
Hmm.
feel
Yeah.
maybe trapped or controlled by the voice.
And the voice actually makes it fun, to be honest, because it's a challenge. And you feel
Uh-huh.
like you've conquered something. You feel like you've been courageous. You're like, oh, this feels so good. I don't have to listen to that voice. I can do anything I want.
So it becomes like, yeah, like you said, like a challenge and an
Yeah.
incentive to build the kind of strength and the sense of self that you really want.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because today, for example, I was in the gym and I wanted to be spotted for the bench press, and I'm just looking around. Who is the most intimidating to me to ask for a spot, and it's so fun. And I just try to go to that person. It's
Yeah.
just a fun challenge to do. And then I realize, yeah, I can do anything I want. It's yeah, I don't have to be scared.
Isn't this such an amazing understanding to have the awareness that what holds us back the most, what causes the greatest degree of fear,
Hmm.
is actually our greatest teacher?
Yeah.
Because you came going,
Hmm.
look, I want to expand and open my ability to connect with others, and that's currently how I
Hmm.
feel the most challenged.
Hmm.
Well, that was an incentive leading you. It was testing you to say, look, you want connection? Well, you're going to have to overcome this challenge. So without that
Yeah.
challenge, there's like no incentive to go and learn something new,
Hmm.
experience something new. So, but when we're in the challenge itself, when we're in the shadow itself, it doesn't feel like that. It just
Hmm.
feels like suffering.
Yeah.
And then as you break through and you go, oh, I see. This was a teacher for me. It's led
Hmm.
me to intimacy. The shadow of, that disconnection, we'll call it, has led me
Hmm.
to developing
Yeah.
connection and intimacy.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful way to see it, right? That's just a
Mhm.
shadow is there actually as a guidance and a teacher.
Yeah.
And then through the shadow, there comes intimacy.
Yes.
Hmm. And it's such a cool way to look at it because then you see it in a positive way, right? You don't judge it anymore as a very negative thing.
And you go from
Hmm.
feeling like a victim of whatever it was to empowered
Hmm.
by the challenge that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kareem, do you have
Yeah,
any?
because if the shadow wasn't there in the first place, it wouldn't feel that rewarding, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's only an insight that you come to when you're empowered.
Yeah.
And that's
Hmm.
such a clear indication of your empowerment now, your freedom from that challenge.
Yeah.
This is mastery of the shadow, hey? This is mastery
Hmm.
of that challenge. It's
Yeah.
mastery over that challenge.
Hmm.
Hats off to you, brother. You've done so well. Any closing words that you have to share today?
Hmm. Not really. I just want to say I feel great, to be honest, and I'm really grateful for this experience, and that yeah, I'm really grateful for the months we had. It's been such a cool journey.
Great to speak with you today. So happy to hear
Yeah.
about your wins, your success, your transformation. I can see it.
Hmm.
Your shift is so evident through your energy. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you speak, the way that you
Hmm.
look, you can
Yeah.
see in people's energy the quality of what they're projecting.
Yeah, for
You can
sure.
see it. You can see it.
Yeah. Hmm. I agree. I can feel a difference as well.
Yeah.
I can just feel that I'm at ease more. I just have this not anymore this fake confidence, but I'm starting to really have this grounded, this confidence in myself, you know. And this probably comes from that I'm mindful of those shadows, and that let's say, quote unquote, mastery over them. And it feels so good, you know. You feel a very sense of control and power and love as well.
Yes. Wow. Man, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Proud of
Hmm.
you, brother.
Thank you.
To me, there is nothing more inspiring than to watch someone break free. And my hope is that by hearing Karim's story, you feel inspired to create something new in your life. Karim said that all it required was courage, that willingness to experience something different. You have access to that same courage within yourself. All it takes is your decision